Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Jack Eglin, who will fight on Peak Fighting 49 October 18th. Hello, Jack. How are you?
Going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good. And in just around 2 weeks, you will fight in Peak Fighting. Your
Yeah.
opponent will be Mateo Gonzalez. And if you can tell me. What do you think about him as the opponent, and do you think that he can present some challenges that you didn't see before?
I think he's a good as an opponent. I think he's a good opponent. He's a tough opponent. You know what I mean? Um, he's well rounded. So he's no easy fight. You know what I mean? Um, as an opponent, is he gonna show me anything I've never seen, but anything I've ever seen before? I don't think I've never seen. I've fought guys I feel like who are probably more well rounded than him personally. I feel like I fought better guys than him too. So I don't think he's gonna show me anything I have never seen before. Um, but we'll see in it. You can never say never. So I'm prepared for whatever he brings. Really, to be honest with you, whatever he wants to do, I'll welcome that.
And actually, I think that your opponent is kind of crazy, like either in your amateur career or pro career, because you fought against who is who in MMA. You fought like against Mokaev, against Fletcher, so a lot of really good guys. So probably you see a lot of things that can happen in the fight, and it's like really hard to surprise you in the fight.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you say, I have kind of fought, especially as an amateur. I fought the who's who's. I fought really tough opposition as an amateur, and even now as a pro, I fought some good guys. So, like you say, I don't think he's gonna show me anything that I've never seen before. You know what I mean? Um, but I've fought a tough Mexican before. I know how tough they are, and you can never ever count that out. You know what I mean? He's got heart. I've watched him fight. You know what I mean? I have watched some tape, so like I know he's got no quit in him. So like you can never say never in the sense of showing me something, but I don't think he has anything that I've never seen personally. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. I don't think he has anything that I've never seen before.
And actually, I think that in your last two fights, it was like Dan Dice. I believe that it's like
Yeah,
correctly pronounced, but he's like really good fighter, and it was like super close fight. And your next
yeah.
fight was in the rough, and to be honest, you were like super close to win this fight a few times.
Yeah,
So
I made one mistake in that fight, and it cost me in it. Like no excuses. He was the better man on the night in it. But that fight, if we fought another nine times out of ten, all respect to him, but I'm winning that. You know what I mean? He won on the night. He caught me when I, and that's that. That's the game. That's the dice we roll. You know what I mean? I understand the game that I play. But like you say, and then the Dan fight, I feel like that's down to a matter of an opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah, he won the first. I won the second. Um, and even still in the third round, I feel like I pretty much took most of that third round until the takedown. And even then, he didn't do much. So it's all a matter of opinion on how you score that. You know what I mean? If you score damage in the third round, I beat him. You know what I mean? But if you score it in the sense of a takedown wins your round, then he won. So it's all down to an opinion. Like you say, the last two scraps have been tough for me. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of questions to ask myself. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But they have lit a fire under my ass, that's for sure.
and right now, because your fight will be in peak fighting, for you, is it like one fight deal, or is it like maybe a longer contract?
One fight deal, one fight deal.
And I think that like with your style, it probably it would not be hard for you to find like a
Yeah,
really good promotion.
yeah, I don't. I feel like, well, to be honest with you, it's actually hard to match me more so. Like to find me fights is hard. Not a lot of people really want to take the risk because obviously my record doesn't say, like, if you look at my record, it's like, oh, 4-4. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be real. I'm not bullshitting with no one. Like, I'm honest with myself. You know what I mean? It doesn't look good. But if you go and you watch the fights and you watch the people who I fought and you see how I did in the fights, then it's a whole other ball game. And I think once people see it and they like kind of look at the kind of worms that I am in a sense, you know what I mean, or whatever you want to call it, they don't want it. You know what I mean? Because I do fight. You know, that's one thing. When I do fight, it's a fight. You will be in a fight, win, lose, or draw. You know what I mean? I'm coming in it. Like I don't come to play and pity pat and touch and move. Like I'm trying to fucking knock you clean out. I'm sorry for swearing, but like I'm trying to take you out. You know what I mean? I'm not here to play a game. I'm not here to like just be there. You know what I mean? Like I take this shit seriously. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for the opportunity and God for giving me the opportunity. You know what I mean? But like I'm not there to mess about.
Yes, yes, I would definitely agree that like watching your fights, we can see that you are like very very vicious striker. It's
Yeah,
probably really hard to fight against you because like your opponent will know that either he will win or lose, but definitely it will be a lot of damage in this fight.
yeah, yeah. You'll know you've been in a fight. That's for sure. You're gonna be sore for a few days after.
Yes, yes, definitely. And right now, do you plan after this fight? Do you plan to fight in the US, or also would you like consider like you fights in Europe?
I want to come back to Europe for sure. You know what I mean? I love fighting at home, so for sure I do want to fight back at home when I can. Um, but for now, just with visa and stuff like that, like the States is the option for me right now. You know what I mean? But for sure when the time is right and I can, I'll fight back at home for sure. You know what I mean? You can never beat an English crowd. An English crowd is the best crowd.
And like when you start train in the UK, how old were you? Especially like your first MMA class, like the start of your journey.
Yeah. So I started. So I've been with the same team since my first ever class. I'm still with the same team now to this day. I started kickboxing at an MMA gym when I think I just turned 9. So I was like 8 or 9. I was around 8 or 9. Um, I'm gonna say 9. I was 9 when I started, and then I was 12 when I first started MMA. And ever since then, it was my goal. Like I wasn't school wasn't for me, nothing like that. You know what I mean? So like the journey started for me very early. I knew fighting was what I wanted to pursue and the path I wanted to take with my life. You know what I mean? From a very young age, from like a very young age. You know what I mean? I knew this is what I wanted to do, and it wasn't even like a family thing. It's not that, like no one else in my family had done it. You know what I mean, or anything like that. Like fighting was always just my thing. You know what I mean? I loved fighting. So yeah, I just knew from a young age that the path that I was going to take was always going to be MMA. You know what I mean? But it started from 12. 12 was the first MMA class I did, I think.
And at the beginning, did you like the grappling part of the game? So like takedowns and submission, or only
Yeah,
only like striking
I
part?
started with kickboxing, so like my striking was already at a certain level when I did start. To be honest, even at a young age, I took to it like a duck to water in a sense. You know what I mean with striking. Um, so yeah, grappling. I would say I started. Yeah, it was 12 too. But I come from more of a striking gym, so it wasn't so much like jujitsu, like in the gi or wrestling, like wrestling. It was all MMA based. You know what I mean? It was MMA jujitsu. It was MMA wrestling. So it all involved punching and whatever else have you. You know what I mean? So it was very different.
And you had your first pro fight in March of 2020.
Yeah, right.
Yes, and of course it was a kind of crazy time, like a few in that time or a few weeks ago. And when the pandemic started, did you think that maybe there will be some issue with going forward with your career?
Honestly, I didn't think COVID was going to be as big as what it ended up being. To be honest, I thought, like, I honestly only thought it was going to be a couple of weeks, months, or whatever, and then it was going to pass. I didn't think it was going to cost me like 2 years. To be honest with you, like, honestly, I didn't think it was going to be as big as what it was. I'm not someone who kind of stresses on things like that. I don't really listen to mainstream media or nothing like that. So I wasn't like one of them people like, oh, fuck, let me go bulk buy fucking toilet roll and dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I really wasn't panicking about it. Um, and then yeah, like I say, it cost me really like almost 2 years of momentum in a sense. You know what I mean? Because I was feeling good at that point after that. So other than that, COVID really just did that to me.
And of course, like UFC was one of the only things, like the sports, let's
If
say, which
if
was going through.
yeah. If not the only one, so it was yeah, it was a mad time. It was a mad time.
And right now, you train in MMA Lab, right?
Yeah, man.
And how did you get to this gym? Because it's quite a rare thing to see that like European going not only for camp, but I believe that living in the States.
Yeah. So I first like the connection got the connection to the lab through one of my coaches, Bradley Scott, who fought in the UFC. He actually fought Krzysztof Jotko, the Polish fighter. He fought Jotko in the UFC. Um, he started coming to the lab for his UFC debut back in like 2013 or 14, I think it was 2013. I want to put it, yeah, 2013. And then when I turned, I want to say I was just turned 17, I was 16 or 17. I'd had three MMA fights at the time. And that's when he offered, he was like, "Do you want to come out for a couple of weeks when I go out for a camp?" Um, just to see, like, because I always knew I wanted to be a fighter in it, but he said to me, he's like, if you want to find out if you really want to be a fighter, you got to go to this gym. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think you want to do it, right, come and see if you really want to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. It was another level of training, especially at that time for me. I'd never seen that level before. So it was that was how I got the connection through it, and then yeah, just ever since then I was coming to and from, and then yeah, I met my now wife a few years ago, and then we got married last year. And yeah, and here we are now. Now I'm living here.
So like 2013, 2014 was the moment when like Benson Henderson was a champion, because I think that
Yeah,
to 2013, so it probably was kind of crazy to watch him training for this kind of big fights.
yeah. He always told me like stories about what like Ben training before I ever came to the lab. He would tell me about like how hard Ben would train and stuff. So I remember the first time I seen it and like felt like that level of training. I was like, whoa, this it was like fuck me, this is a whole other level, you know what I mean? But I enjoyed it. I thrive Me personally, I thrive on like them sort of things, you know what I mean? Especially if people think you can't do it or like or doubting it, you know what I mean? That spurs me on even more so.
And it's probably like for the last like 15 or even more years, the one of like top three gyms in US. It's like still a lot of great fighters, a lot of prospects, a lot of veterans. So probably you can
Yeah,
pick many sparring partners, many training partners to
yeah,
improve
yeah.
your skill.
Especially at my weight class right now, we've got like four guys in the top 15, I think. You know what I mean? You got Mario Bautista, Marcus McGee, Kyler Phillips. Like the list goes on. You know what I mean? There's other guys who people don't know who they soon will know. You know what I mean? Like there's serious level of guys like this camp. I've had a big help from like the likes of like Mario and the boys, but also like Jose Delgado, who's fighting in 2 weeks against Nathaniel Wood. Like he's been a big sparring partner for me this camp to help me and give me looks for Mateo. So like the level out here is it's crazy. You know what I mean? There's no matter what day you come in, you know you're gonna like your work's cut out for you. You know what I mean? You have to come in on your A game. You have to come in prepared. You have to come in ready.
And Mario will fight against Umar. And
Umar,
what do you think about this fight?
I think Mario wins, isn't it? You know what I mean? I think Mario's gonna beat him for sure. I think Mario's a dark horse in the division. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't give him the respect that I think he deserves, personally. You know what I mean? Like he is a fucking dog and a workhorse. Like serious. He doesn't say much in it, but he doesn't need to. You know what I mean? His work and his work ethic and everything speaks for itself. You know what I mean? And I think once people do get like to see a bit more of his personality, I think the more people will catch on to him. You know what I mean? Because he's a good geezer, funny as well. You know what I mean? He's got some banter. So I think he beats him. I think he comes out and I think he puts on the performance of his life. I remember saying to him after his last fight because I was at his last fight when he beat Patchy. I was cornering on the same night with one of the other lads from our team. And I said to him, I said, I guarantee you get Umar next. And that was before it got announced. And then he got announced Umar, and I can feel it. I know this is his like time. This is his moment. This is his like, I don't know what you want to call it, but this is his time to like take that torch and run with it. You know what I mean? I really feel like he's gonna do that.
Yes, and I think that after this fight, when he wins, I think that title shot is only thing that should be
Only
next.
doesn't get the title shot off of this. Like, it's some bullshit for sure, for sure. There's something going on. They just don't want to give him the title. If that's the case, you know what I mean? Because he's done everything. You can't argue with it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not performing because he puts on good fights. You know what I mean? Like against Patchy, like he did his thing. You know what I mean? It was a good scrap. You know what I mean? It wasn't boring. It wasn't none of that. You know what I mean? So I think people got to start putting some respect on his name. He's a serious, serious dark horse.
Yes, yes, definitely. And like thinking about your career, what do you see next for you? Maybe like in 2 or 3 years, do you consider a UFC as the like main goal for you, or just maybe some crazy fights? What is like in your mind?
No, the goal is UFC. If I'm honest, if I start losing the goal of the UFC and becoming a UFC champion, because I know the level I train at, you know what I mean. I know the level of guys I can compete at day in and day out in the gym. You know what I mean. I'll be real. I just haven't put the performances in the cage when the lights are on. You know what I mean? I haven't performed. I have no excuse because it's not like I don't train hard. You know what I mean? But it's down to me to perform, and I just haven't. But I know the level I can compete at, and I know I can be in the UFC, and I can really be one of the best guys in the UFC. You know what I mean? I know I have that about me. Anyone who's seen me train, anyone who's trained with me, really knows that deep down too. You know what I mean? And I beg to differ that anyone will deny that. You know what I mean? And I personally feel like I do have something about me where I am like, you can push me. The way I fight, the way I am, I'm not afraid to talk my mind. You know what I mean? You want to talk a bit of shit, bring it on. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I just need to start putting in the performances over these next year or two, get some good wins, get some momentum behind me. And I feel like once you give me that opportunity, like a Dana White Contender Series or whatever the case may be, I am telling you, he sees me fight once, he will want to see me fight again. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in my mind. And I don't hesitate. I don't stutter on that. I know full well for a fact that he sees me fight, he's gonna want to sign me. You know what I mean? Like, and I know the performances I can put in. I know how good and how capable I am. I just have to do it. You know what I mean? I have no excuses. Not down to no one else but me to put the performance in on the night. You know what I mean? But like, I know the level I can be at, and I know I could become a UFC champion one day if I really, really, really put everything into it and I don't hold back and I just keep pushing no matter what. You know what I mean? I know I can.
Yes, and actually, Contender Series is not just about winning, but winning in style. And when you are in the cage, definitely the style is there. So
Yeah,
if you
I
are
like.
if
You know what I mean? I like to think people like to watch me fight. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in crowds where I've had the whole crowd against me. Like, not one person has been like, yes, Jack. You know what I mean? Like, the whole crowd against me. And then I come out, and after the fight, every single person will be stood on their feet and clapping and saying, "Wow, like, well done." You know what I mean? Because I do fight. I leave my heart. I go out there and I leave it all out there. If there's one thing you want to like, you can take from any of my fights, I always leave it all out there. I'm not gonna half-ass it. You know what I mean? Like I said, you will know you've been in a fight in it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I fight. I'm a fighter's fighter. At the end of the day, I'm a real fighter. I don't come in to just win. Like, I'm coming in to fight you. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know now, like, since my last two fights and just trying to be a bit more smart, I do have to use my IQ. But at heart, in my heart, I know I'm a fighter's fighter. I'm a fighter first. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of fighters ain't a fighter first when it comes to life. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't that. You know what I mean? And I know I am that. You could meet me anywhere in the car park right now, no cameras, no nothing. I would still fight you just as hard. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no difference to me. So like, I feel like I say, once I get that that time, that moment, whenever the case may be, whether it be 2, 3, 4, whatever, however many years down the line from now, whenever I get that opportunity to make that move up to the next level, I really feel like I'll be ready for it.
And do you like to fight against wrestlers? Because sometimes the really good strikers just prefer to fight against other strikers. And in your case, do you mind fighting against guy who just want to take you on the ground?
No, that's been my whole career, to be honest with you. Ever since I was an amateur, that's all guys wanted to do anyway. So it's not really nothing new. Like a guy trying to hold me is probably what I'm most used to be honest with you. Even against strikers, most of the time they end up trying to hold me anyway. You know what I mean? So there's only been a couple of times that's not happened. So to be honest with you, I feel like, yeah, no, I don't mind it at all. But I welcome it. I welcome it. Especially if you know, especially what I love personally, love fighting a wrestler and then seeing their face when they realize they can't take me down or they can't hold me down, or I get back up and they realize like the oh fuck moment and they are forced to strike with me. I love seeing the panic set in on a wrestler's face, like the oh fuck, because I've seen it many a time, many a time. Especially after I hit someone hard for the first time, like I really land. I can see it in people's eyes. They're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I didn't expect him to hit this hard. You know what I mean? Because it's all good watching it on a camera, but once I hit you in real life and you feel it, it's a big, big difference.
And sometimes there are fights that one fighter is better wrestler. So let's say that he's a favorite in that fight. But like you said, it's like one attempt, or maybe even it's successful. But when the opponent is going back, we can see that something changed. That this is not the fight that took place like 30 seconds
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Well, this is the thing. You can wrestle good for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But there's another 10 minutes of a fight. You might out wrestle me for the first 5 minutes, but that doesn't mean you've won the fight. You know what I mean? Good. You've held me down. All right. Now you've got to try and take me back down at the start of this round and hold me down again. And every single time you try and I stuff you, I'm gonna hit you in the body. I'm gonna hit you in the legs. I'm gonna hit you in the chin. Any opening you give me, I'm gonna touch you, and it's gonna hurt. And each time it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. And then you see the panic set in, and you see the fatigue start setting in, and then you see the panic desperation shots start setting in, and then you know it's like, oh, now I've got you. You know what I mean? Because that is the case. A lot of wrestlers expect you to just to take you down or just to hold you, and you kind of give up and lay on your back. That ain't the case. You know what I mean? Like that is not the case at all. It's a fight.
And do you have maybe like the way of knockout that you would like to use in the fight? So maybe some kind of crazy punch, crazy knee, crazy elbow. Do you have like perfect knockout in your mind?
If I pick a shot every single time that I was gonna finish someone with, every time I would pick a body shot. Or a body shot for sure. I take the liver shot. I would rather drop someone with body shots than a headshot, because a body shot you have to quit. Like there's nothing you can do. No matter how tough you are, no matter the heart in you, you can't man up. So the other way around, you get hit in the head. If the person's good enough, they can. There's ways around it. They can maneuver and like get their feet back. A body shot, there's nothing you can do. It shuts you down. There's nothing you can do. You will just will. You know what I mean? So if I had to choose one, I'm taking the body shot every single time without fail.
And you actually had a few of these fights. I think that it was like also a Rory Evans fight, and a few more that you definitely punished the body
Yeah,
a lot. So it
yeah,
it, it,
the body for sure. You know what I mean? I think it's underutilized in MMA. To be honest with you, I don't feel like a lot of guys really do it. So I feel like it's an underutilized skill. You know what I mean? Especially if you're good at it, you can break people in that range. You can really, really break people because people aren't used to standing there and being in that distance and in that range.
and outside of fight game, let's say that you are after the fight, and maybe the training that it is good to just recover your body. What do you like to do in your free time?
Do you know what? I'm kind of boring, bro. I like to spend time with my wife. Go to church on Sundays. You know what I mean? The life I live in America is very chilled, to be honest with you, compared to England. Back home is a bit different, but like living here now and being here and I live a very, very chilled out work first lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like training comes first. That's all, that is my life, you know what I mean? So the only day I have off today is Sunday. I woke up, well, it's not even a day off. I woke up, I ran 5 miles. Um, Normally I would have went to church, but my wife had the car, so sadly we couldn't go. But yeah, normally that on my day off, I don't really do too much, to be honest, bro. I chill, I recoup, and get ready for the next week. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I like to have a chill and that with some of my boys over here, like out at camp. I don't get me wrong. I like to go for a couple games of pool, have some beers and that, like talk some shit with my boys. You know what I mean? Like any other lad. You know what I mean? Like any other man does. But yeah, man, I'm just a pretty chill guy. You know what I mean? I don't be doing too much, to be honest with you.
So right now in the training camp, do you train like 5, 6 days a week?
7 days most of the time. I should take a rest day, but I'm like one of them that I don't like a rest day. I just there's something about it. I don't like to take a day off. Don't get me wrong, if my body really needs it, I will listen. You know what I mean? That's one thing I've been trying to be better with this camp is not overworking. Um, but I've always kind of just I've always liked to run on a Sunday. I don't know why. I've always just loved to wake up on an early morning because I wake up super early. So I always like to wake up and get a run in. Nothing crazy, you know what I mean? Like, but just a steady pace, and just keep the body moving. I feel like I feel better when I do something rather than do nothing. You know what I mean?
And also in the training camp, do you have sometimes the days let's say that in the evening you feel that maybe next day it will be a really tough day because you have some maybe not injuries but a lot of pain. You were like beaten up in the training
Oh,
room.
bro, almost every other day here, I'm like, fuck. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go training because I'm sore. I'm hurting. Like anyone who has trained at the lab or been at the lab will know, like it's a serious it's a serious level, and the work we put in is no joke. You know what I mean? Like I'm sore every single day, to be honest with you. Especially on a wrestling day, I'll be real. On wrestling days, I try and think of ways to not go. I'm like, oh, what about if I tell coach my knee hurts today, or some bullshit like that? Always, never. Obviously, I never do, but fuck, man, I'll be like procrastinating on whether to tell him or not. You know what I mean? Because they're hard. They are hard goes. Like I get more anxiety sometimes for some of the training sessions we have than I do a fight because they're so much harder than a fight sometimes.
Yes, because when you are in the like full of room full of the killers in MMA Lab, it's
Yeah.
like probably it's much tougher than most of
Ah,
your
bro,
fights in the cage.
mate, so much worse. Especially like sparring days, you know what I mean? Like when we spar here, when we do our rounds, we get a fresh guy every single round. You know what I mean? So when we do our cage rounds, I'm getting a fresh guy each round. You know what I mean? So I might have Mario one round, Jose next round, or Marcus one round and Mario the next. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And it's like they're coming in fresh. You know what I mean? Putting a good pace. Like it's serious work. You know what I mean? Serious work.
Okay, Jack. So many thanks for the time and for
No,
conversation.
thank you, bro.
I hope that, of course, you will win another fight, another finish, maybe some great body shot, and you will
Yeah.
take some other good challenges, maybe in peak, maybe in some other big promotion, but definitely that you will deliver another great fights.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, we will. Don't you worry about that. We will. It's coming. My time's coming. Trust me.